Hi, and thank you for your interest in substance use and food insecurity. This is a community needs assessment focusing on young adults in York County, Maine. My name is Carrie Donnelly. I am a Master's of Science in Applied Nutrition candidate at the University of New England. I have experience creating and implementing wellness programs for young adults, as well as being a longtime York County resident. So I can speak on the impact of substance use as I've seen it affect my high school classmates, friends, peers, and my small town community. That's why I chose to focus on substance use and the rapidly growing overdose and untimely deaths in York County. Over the 5 years of 2011 to 2016, we saw an increase in overdose deaths from 12.4 per 100,000 to 21.3. That's almost doubled. And we've still continued to see an increase over the past year by 7%. York County is also the second highest overdose rate next to Cumberland, which includes Portland. We also contribute to 15 to 16% of state deaths. While substance use does not discriminate based on age, I chose to focus on young adults, 18 to 34. They make up the smallest proportion of Maine's population, but contribute to the greatest amount of substance use. We have the highest rates of binge drinking, marijuana, and misuse of prescription drugs. We also have higher than the state or national average for drug-induced deaths and suicides. I analyzed existing community information and got a first-hand account from a local resident expert to determine the greatest needs of this population. So finding a solution to substance use is rated the #1 health priority of York County residents. This was from a community poll. Second are improving social determinants of health, which are any social and environmental factors that impact one's health. This includes education, poverty, housing, discrimination, crime, and availability of food and resources. Additionally, York County had higher overdose emergency response rates than the state average, which means we might be spending more money on response rather than investing in prevention. These young adults are also the future of our community, so we need to invest in their health and wellness now. So the greatest unmet need for this population is food insecurity. This is the inability to obtain a necessary amount of quality and nutritionally adequate food in socially acceptable ways to support living a healthy life. In York County, the average rate of food insecurity was about 13.5%, but it's expected that this has risen due to the pandemic. So food insecurity disproportionately affects those already suffering from social inequities, like low-income individuals, those that are in unstable housing, unemployed, or living with mental illness and substance use. While food insecurity does not always mean immediate harm and starvation, it drastically decreases quality of life and causes poor mental and physical health. On the short-term side of things, malnutrition, vitamin deficiencies, and poor oral health are effects of food insecurity. But this can develop to high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity, and the development of chronic diseases due to a low-quality diet. Additionally, the psychological effects of food insecurity are detrimental, and they include chronic stress, anxiety, and depression. 1 out of every 5 persons with mental illnesses reports difficulty finding food, and being food insecure triples your odds of being depressed. Additionally, they're prone to high-risk coping strategies, which can include substance use, further increasing the effects of these issues. About 30 to 70% of substance users reported being food insecure at one point. So the current food system in place to alleviate these issues is donation-based. There's about 1 pantry per municipality in York County, with the exception of there's about 2 and 3 in Saco, Biddeford, and Sanford and Old Orchard, I believe. So this donation-based system does provide immediate relief, but these small organizations are not capable of providing a long-term solution. Additionally, food donated is typically packaged and processed foods that are low in nutrients, high in calories, fat, and sugar. This kind of creates a two-tiered food system, and it reinforces the stigma and negative self-worth and low self-esteem of these individuals because they rely on pantries and donations from everyone else that gets to go to the grocery store. This was a key point that stuck with me when talking to the community expert. And she said that the most disheartening issue with these services is that users don't get ingredients to make a cohesive meal. They may get some peanut butter or tuna or canned green beans, but it's hard to make a nutritionally adequate meal from these random ingredients. She compared this to being a homeless edition of Chopped and said that if you don't want to eat it, why should they eat it? This reinforces the mindset that they're not on the level to deserve good food, so why do they deserve a better life? And this perpetuates the cycle of abuse, trauma, and stress that's felt with food insecurity. An innovative approach is needed to create applicable, relevant programs and reduce barriers, as well as raising awareness and involving the entire York County community. I think education, access, and awareness are the key points to move forward. So education, we need to create nutrition education programs in rehabilitation centers, recovery programs, or spaces that offer help with substance use. Many of these individuals may not even have the cooking skills to know how to create a nutritionally adequate meal or what that looks like. We could include cooking demos, meal prep, and shopping trips as part of programming offered in these services. Many of these facilities that provide programs already have commercial grade kitchens that could be used for such services. Additionally, we need to improve the accessibility and affordability of quality food to reduce food insecurity in this population. We need to bring services to the areas with the greatest need and concentration. Mobile produce and meal carts are a recent solution to this issue. We could dispatch them in downtowns, neighborhoods, or rural areas with high concentration of this population. Or they could be offered at meeting spaces for these individuals, like NA or AA meetings. Finally, we need to increase awareness, and this means including the entire community. We need to educate our emergency response on how to connect these individuals to such services, and we also need to utilize technology to stay relevant. So young adults primarily use social media and texting as preferred methods of communication. So we need to be able to create a online based nutrition service to help raise awareness of these programs. So now more than ever, applying technology to improve our food environment is necessary because of the current pandemic. Our food system is shifting towards contactless services, and lots of shelters and centers are closing to reduce transmission. This means we have to act quickly in order to keep up with our changing world. So 2 examples of innovation and action already in our community, one of them being Preble Street, which is based out of Portland, and they just started a street outreach program, which brings fresh meals 2 times daily, as well as outreach programming to street corners and intersections where community members need this most. So this is a schedule of what it takes to orchestrate a program like this. And you can see the various intersections every day, 2 times a day, that they bring fresh food to people that need it. Finally, out of Burlington, Vermont, a community center technology company called Local Maverick just created a virtual farmers market. So they've created a user-friendly platform to organize Burlington farmers, and now you can browse, order, and create a produce pickup box and pick it up at your desired location. So this could be an effective way to unify the Maine farmers and community, as well as being user-friendly for young adults. That's my take on food insecurity and substance use in this county, and thank you for your time.